we will go to conclude with Mr. Morris.
Well, thank you, Chair, and thank you, colleagues. Appreciate that. Minister Ian, it's wonderful to see you here. I wanted to follow up on our conversation from this past summer.
We've had several.
We've
been in touch a lot, Mike.
Well, I appreciate the conversations we've had, particularly as a result of a letter we worked on with both the Bloc and the NDP to dig into some of what we've heard throughout this conversation today. So first of all, I've heard from you several times already, your advocacy in the fall economic statement to see the numbers. The program right now is $278 million. Would continue to join in the advocacy to say that we see significant funding going elsewhere. Would like to see the funding increased. I recognize you're in the midst of that advocacy already, so I'd like to focus my question more on the 70,000 jobs, because behind that number is, in my community at least, many employers that received only 8 weeks as opposed to 16 weeks. And so while it was 70,000 jobs, it was a significant cut in the number of weeks per job. It's also a minimum wage program still, and so often it's the lowest wage role for that employer. And it's also communicated very late. And so a lot of these employers are having a difficult time learning in mid-April about how to resource their own. I'll give you an example. Red Raccoon Bike Rescue in my community, a bunch of volunteers who are fixing bikes. They received 2 jobs at 8 weeks each, and they heard about it, towards the end of April. We were able to work with Service Canada in this case and with your team to have the advocacy to say, could we at least turn that into we'd prefer only one job. Prefer one job at 16 weeks over the 2 at 8 weeks, given how small this organization is. And so, in addition to your advocacy to see funding increased, can you speak about what we can be doing collectively to see the wages increased, to see the communication moved up for employers to plan for the roles, and to see 16-week roles return to more often?
Thanks so much, Mike, and for your incredible advocacy as well. We've been on the line a lot. We have. With regards to the 8 weeks, I will say this is a summer program. That's what it is. Obviously, there are always things to be considered, but that's what it is, because it's meant for a certain cohort. And that's what I mean about the different cohorts and the different programs, because this is meant for high school kids. With regards to employers and late notice, it was one of the things that we heard from MPs, and we changed. So the call out for proposals, the call out for employers starts in November. It starts in a month and will go till January. And because we heard, listen, things are too late, we need to know earlier. So November is now the time. So in a month from now, that'll be happening.
The notification to the employer, though, remains to be, I think, April 19th or so this year was the date. So I'd encourage anything that can be done. I know Service Canada is working hard. Anything that could be done to move the entire window earlier for applications to open earlier, and then the notifications, if they could be made in February or March and have employers be ready to act, that if a post-secondary student, for example, who would like to start on May 1st, if we could see more of those opportunities made available with more notice. Certainly I can speak for employers in Kitchener-Surrey, and I know you've received some letters from them. They are very keen to have that extra notice period, to even put a challenge to say, if Canada Summer Jobs were to pay a living wage, maybe the Government of Canada could say, we'd encourage you to ensure every role in your organization is paying a living wage, and we're going to help make sure that you can do that. On behalf of employers in Kitchener Centre, strongly encourage you to have that advocacy included along with a return to pandemic funding levels. Thank you.